Hello and welcome to another English language test clinic. I managed to say it, Emilia. Such a tongue twister. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. How are you? Good to be here again.
Likewise, Happy New Year. I'm sure we can still say that. Is that correct?
Yes, Happy New Year.
Happy
May
New
it
Year.
be kind and gentle.
Oh, no, and Happy New Year to everybody who's watching right now. We wish you the very best in your academic journey and in your personal journey as well. And like we said last time, we're actually here for your benefit. The whole point of this show, as you can see from the title of the video, is we would like to help you with regards to your English language test performance. So today, Emilia, so what's the topic for the day?
We're talking about IELTS reading, specifically academic IELTS reading. So we'll focus on that test.
Brilliant. So basically, as you know, the description about Emilia is actually in the caption with regards to her background. She does have her own Instagram page, and you're more than welcome to actually follow her and to get as much advice as you can. We do have a really good surprise, a special gift for Happy New Year for you guys. So you need to keep watching till the end of today's video. What's this got to do with UK Bright Education? As you know, we are a service where we provide UK university admissions, where an English language test, which is otherwise known as a CELT, may be a requirement. So that's why we're here to prepare you to get that offer from a UK university. So if you need an offer, you just need to DM me now. If you'd like to learn English language, you can also, I can also help you with that. We can study English language in London, Oxford, and Brighton. Right. So would you like to share your PowerPoint, Emilia?
Yes. All right. Okay. So yes, I would like to talk about IELTS reading. This is one of the tests that causes a little bit more problems to everyone. This is my favorite part of the IELTS test. Call me crazy, but it's true. What I want to say to start with, we had a little discussion before we came online here, is that whatever you're learning, all the skills and strategies you're learning when preparing for the IELTS test or TOEFL test or any test you choose or are asked to take, if you think about it, they should serve a greater purpose. So they are to prepare you for your studies. They are prepare you for a life in an English-speaking environment. So this is how I teach. This is my approach as a teacher. Yes, I concentrate on IELTS, but all of this with the aim of making you an independent, confident language user. So today, academic reading, and I would like to give you a test summary for the IELTS test, and then the best tip and why it's important. And then I'm going to talk about 3 different ways of how you can practice your reading for the IELTS test. So the reading test is usually the second test on the day after listening. It takes 60 minutes, and in the academic IELTS, there are 3 sections which include 1 text each in each section, and you should spend about 20 minutes on each section. There are 40 questions altogether, which means that you have 1 minute and 30 seconds per question. So this may sound a little bit scary, also, especially to those of you who have had a look at what the IELTS academic reading test looks like, and it can be a little bit intimidating. The texts are hellishly long, using quite a lot of specialized language, and the questions can be tricky. So how do we do that when we have just 1 minute and 30 seconds per question? Well, what I want to suggest here, and this is something that I would encourage you to practice at home before you go into the test room. This is the strategy I used in my IELTS test. I think we mentioned that in our previous call, that I have taken the IELTS test. I know what you're going through. And so first, go through the entire test. section by section and text by text, and try and answer the easy questions first. Why is it important? Well, you can find easier questions in the last section of the test. So by going through the entire test first, you make sure that you get those easy points. So all the easier questions are sort of sprinkled across the test. They are not only in section 1 or section 2. A lot of students come to me, they say, well, I don't have time to look at the third section at all. I usually get stuck on sections 1 and 2. So this is one of the ways to prevent that from happening. So first, go through the entire test and do easy questions first. Then go back and give yourself more time to answer the tricky ones. And again, why is it important? Well, there will be less pressure on you to get it right because you have finished the test already. So you have completed the test. You have answered all the easy questions you were able to. And then you have more time to figure it all out and to double check your answers. Now, in the last 5 minutes or so, play what I call IELTS Lottery. So you can guess answers, give yourself a chance. Why is it important? So first of all, you don't lose points for incorrect IELTS answers in IELTS. And so if you leave an empty gap and you don't attempt to answer the question, you have 100% chance you'll get 0 points. If you give yourself a chance, so if you're not sure if the answer is A, B, or D maybe, or A or D, play eeny, meeny, miny, mo, do 50-50, choose something. You can be surprised, and you can do that when you practice at home and see how many questions you do get right using this method. So easy questions first, then give yourself time to go back to the more challenging ones. Please don't worry with the challenging questions. If you're aiming for band 6, there will be questions that are simply not for you. Band 8, 8.5, or 9 questions, questions for very, very advanced learners. You may not be one of them. And so you don't have to do everything perfectly. What you're trying to do is to do as much as you can to the best of your ability. So easy questions first, then the more difficult ones. And in the last 5 minutes, give yourself a chance and do not leave empty gaps. This tip, by the way, applies to the listening test as well. Now, how to practice. So with the IELTS practice tests, most of my students, when they arrive in my webinars, they say, well, I've done all the IELTS books, or they are in the process of doing the tests in the official IELTS practice test materials. Well, if you do, please make sure that you learn something from that experience. So don't do the test, check your answers, calculate your score, make a happy face or a sad face, and leave it there. So read, check your answers, read again to analyze, learn from each test. Stay curious, stay open, and see why this is the correct answer, not the one I gave. Like I said earlier, marathon runners don't run marathons every day. And so please do not exhaust yourself, especially a few days before the exam. So practice 1 section a day for the first 3 days, and then give yourself 1 day when you do a full test, and then again, section 1, section 2, section 3 on separate days. Now, another way to practice for the IELTS test will be to read a lot and to stay curious. My students, when they tell me, well, I score poorly in IELTS reading, I ask them, well, do you read? And they say, well, no. When we're good at things that we do, that we practice. And so pick texts that interest you. Read every day. Not just your discipline. You're probably really good at what you do and you can talk about it in English, which is amazing, which is great, and definitely do a lot of that. But widen your horizons. Maybe you have some interests outside of your discipline, outside of your desired, direction in terms of your studies. Maybe there is something else you can explore. Have a notebook handy and write down all the new interesting phrases. Remember, IELTS is primarily for English language learners, so you are one and behave like one. You actually need to work on improving your English. It's not just about some crazy IELTS techniques. Finally, there is something else I want to show you. Well, and this is in relationship to what I've just said, and this is the BBC Learning English website. You have the address on the left-hand side of my slide. It's bbc.co.uk/learning English/English. And here I encourage you to explore these sections specifically. You have a separate section for grammar, pronunciation, vocabulary, and news. Apart from practicing your reading skills, you'll be practicing your listening. There is a pronunciation course, so you can even practice your speaking. It's an amazing resource if you are stuck when generating ideas for your essays, or when you get stuck on some speaking questions. So you will be actually preparing for the entire exam while exploring this page. Again, start small. Marathon runners don't run marathons every day. Do one section in grammar, then the next day maybe pronunciation, maybe next day vocabulary, maybe something from the news section. The third way that I think you can practice for your reading test is to practice paraphrase. I will talk about paraphrase when talking about every part of the IELTS exam. Why is it important in reading? Well, questions paraphrase the text, and so it will be easier for you to find the connection between the question and the area or the part of the text that carries the answer. It works beautifully when you apply this skimming and scanning strategies, and these strategies work based on the fact that questions paraphrase the text. And so it's a very, very important point here, again, back to learning English as a foreign language. So there is a limit to how much you can do, acquiring a certain technique or strategy. You still need to be improving your English. And so this is my encouragement for you, not just with the IELTS practice tests, but you can practice your reading online and also practice language structures. So for this part, I want to recommend some books. And these are the books that helped me as a learner many, many years ago. Now we have third or fourth or fifth editions of these books. So here is intermediate language practice. So you may not see that very well, but it says it's recommended for B1 level, so slightly below IELTS Band 6. But if you need to catch up on your grammar and vocabulary, this is the book to use. The next one is language practice for first. What's really good about these books by Michael Vince is that they all contain a lot of paraphrase practice. So you're learning how to say the same thing using different words, different vocabulary, different grammatical structures. So this is an excellent book practice if you want to have a strong band 6, 6.5 score. Then above that, for those of you who are aiming for higher scores, advanced language learning practice. And finally, they came up with specifically an IELTS language practice. So there is a lot of IELTS specific material there. I recommend to start with where you are. And this is the love letter from me. So start at your level or a little bit lower. It's a little bit controversial and some of you may not like to hear it, but if you're aiming, let's say, for band 7, you will probably need to catch up on your grammar and vocabulary at band 6, 6.5. So the material for advanced levels will be simply too difficult and frustrating. If you don't have that base, if you don't have that foundation, you will be just going in circles and not improving really, because the work you need to do most likely is at a slightly lower level. So that's a tip from me to finish it all. And yes, so I do have an invitation for you.
Yeah, that's fine. So thank you, Emilia. I mean, what you've said is absolutely tremendous. I've been writing in the chat that if you are watching this, I would highly recommend you pause, screenshot, save it somewhere, or just write notes. Just pause and pause. Because what Emilia's saying is she's giving you resources. I've even written down the name of the author and the fact that she's giving you tips what to do for every part of the exam. Right, Emilia, before we give the gift, I just wanted to ask you a question, if that's okay. You know, the reading exam, it's made up of 3 major pieces of text. Is that right?
Yes.
So there's an easy, if you don't, I'll just move that if that's okay. Right, so basically there's an easy section, intermediate and a very high advanced level reading. So what would you recommend in terms of time management? Do you think students should spend a lot of time on the easy bit, or should they finish the easy bit quickly and then spend the rest of the half of the time on the medium and the harder task?
Well, first of all, it's not entirely confirmed that the first section is the easiest and the last section is the most difficult one. And so this is a warning. Please do not assume that. I would definitely treat the first one as a warm-up. But like I mentioned, if you can practice at home and see what it's like to go through all the questions and like pick the ones that are easy for you, because you will have easy questions in the last section of the test. If you're aiming for band 6, 6.5, you will have to consider the third text. And those easy questions will be there as well. Just like there will be some more difficult ones in sections 1 or 2.
Right. Okay. So that's very important to know. So, you know, take everything as important and just go through them equally. And yeah, so you were saying about you have something special to give, a special surprise for everybody. So I've brought the PowerPoint up.
It's my invitation. As you can probably tell, I love teaching IELTS. And so I've set up a masterclass, a reading masterclass to follow up from this call. And so on Saturday, this 6th of January, we start at 8 a.m. UK time, 2.5 hours, a reading masterclass. And I have a special offer for UK Bright Education students. If you type in this code on the checkout, you'll get a third off. That's £15 off this class.
Brilliant.
And IELTS in short is something that I love teaching. It's 3.5 hours where I give you the outline of the entire test. More information on my website, but the class is 3.5 hours. It's on the 21st of January at 8 a.m. UK time. And again, you have a third off, which is £25 off the original price. You can find these courses on my website or through my Instagram, whichever is easier for you. And do not hesitate, contact me if you have any questions. And if you have any questions about the IELTS test, whatever we've just talked about, or about writing and speaking, which are coming next.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much. Well, I'm just going to give students a few more minutes, just a few more seconds to screenshot that. But all the information on here, Emilia, I will write in the caption so students will be able to read it even easier in case they don't get the chance to screenshot. Brilliant.
Yes, and one more thing. I know that these videos will be available on your channels. And so if you're watching this video and it's already February or March, these classes will repeat. And so
Just get in touch. Get in touch with you. Okay. Brilliant, brilliant. Thank you so much.
Definitely.
That's so nice of Emilia. My goodness, can you see how passionate she is about the language? She really wants you to learn and she wants you to excel. And that's the whole point of being a teacher. Isn't that right, Emilia?
Yes, and this is what makes it so special.
Yeah, definitely.
I think you know that, right?
Yeah, definitely, because your success is our success, because it just shows that we are actually doing our job. So thank you so much, Emilia. Again, it's like diamonds in the air. You're just throwing them out. I really look forward to seeing you again. And what's our next topic going to be? So we've done
We'll
reading.
talk about writing.
Right.
So
guys,
be ready, everyone.
Yes, be ready. So all the information about our next live, I just need to confirm with Emilia after this, and then I'll, make sure it's advertised well, so then you can catch up with that. Thank you so much, Emilia. I'll send all your details. I'll put them in the caption, and I'll see you next time.
See you.
All right then. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, she is a very qualified young lady. The words that she said, like I keep saying, I sound like a broken record. You need to watch this, pause it, and take notes. And then play it and pause it, screenshot, whatever you have to do. Emilia's doing this from the goodness of her heart because she is a very experienced lady, more than 20 years of experience in IELTS. If that is what is coming up, if you've got an admission for September and you need to do IELTS and you're preparing now, these are the kind of videos that I would highly recommend that you should watch. If you have friends and family who might be also taking IELTS preparation, share the video as well. You've seen that she's actually on Instagram. In the caption, I'll write down the website and all the details about Emilia. Feel free, she's a very good friend of mine. Feel free to actually contact her and she'll be more than happy to help you. With regards to UK university admissions, you know where we are, you know all of our platforms, so you can try us either on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. So with that, I hope I hear from you very soon. Until next time, my friends, take care. Bye-bye.